Okay, what's up, everyone? Sam again. Today, I'm going to be going over all 16 Swiss stage teams. I'm going to be placing them in like a tier list or a power ranking, however you want to call it. We got 16 teams. Obviously, it's going to take a while, so I don't want to spend too much time just yapping at the start. I'm going to place the teams in where I think they're going to, I'm just going purely based off of skill, where I think they'll end, not taking into account like any possible matchups. It's just how I think they'll do purely off of strength. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm gonna go top down. I'll just explain people as I place them. Number one, I don't think this should be a shocker. SRG. Back in tier two, yes, they're currently winless, but I still do think having that tier two experience gives them a lot to learn. And I still do believe they're the best in GCNA at least. Um, they've been looking great. I think all of them have gotten better. I think their map pool will be good as well. I will say I don't think they'll get. I think they'll struggle more because in a lot of the last Swiss stages that did happen, they kind of just cruised through. Right, their only challenges like Wadada a few times where they would take a map, but I do think SRG has gotten better from where they were at. While I do think they've gotten better, I do think other teams in GC have gotten better. So we're just gonna put SRG at 1. So I kind of debated a bit. My 2 through 4 is very hard. I don't really. I don't feel okay. I'll be honest. I don't feel confident. I think 2 through 4 is a toss up. Let's just go ahead and put them up so we can talk about them a little bit. I got Blue Otter, FlyQuest Red, and Waterda. I'll give my reasoning for all of them. We'll start with Waterda, right? Waterda was one of 2 teams with SRG to skip having to play the OQ, right? They didn't have to play. They auto-qualified for the Swiss. So they have time, and I think just being honest, I think they did need the time. I think with this map pool change, Water has notoriously been very good on Lotus. I'm not too sure about their fracture, but even just when you look at the maps that they removed, I thought they permabanned Abyss during kickoff, and their corrode was kind of shaky towards the end. They did lose it to both FlyQuest and Waterda, or FlyQuest and Blue Otter, sorry. So I do think their corrode was kind of shaky. So now with both of those maps gone, you can focus your ban on something else, which I either imagine to be Fracture or Breeze. The reason I say Breeze is because when they did play it in kickoff, I wasn't super convinced. I think their comp was a little weird. As everybody knows, Waterloo wants to play Chamber. They want to get Starbound on the Chamber. That's kind of their win condition for the most part. Is like you want to get Starbound set up and just like let them play. But they're running like a Yoru, Sova KO, a Solo Viper, and a Chamber. I think that comp is like pretty weak. I just think you can't be playing Solo Viper. But as far as I'm aware, King Fred is still coaching Wadada. And I'm sure he's talked about it. I'm sure he's seen the meta in Tier 2, Tier 1, etc. So I do expect them to change their breeze. And I do think having this break will be good for them. However, you have Blue Otter and FlyQuest, 2 teams that did beat them in kickoff. I think Blue Otter, we'll start with them. They've been looking very good ever since the meta has kind of shifted to this like double duelist style, right? Like very in your face, aggressive. just they've been looking so strong, and I've been really impressed just to see it. I know they have a new coach. Uh, I'll flash his Twitter or his VLR up on screen right now, but they've been looking incredible. And FlyQuest also has been looking good. They did notably everybody pretty much knows that FlyQuest did like open tryouts or trials for the FlyQuest Red team. So technically everybody from the team was like dropped and they just trialed from scratch. And I think their new team makes sense. I think Thea's a great caller, and she definitely thrives when she has strong pieces around her. And I will say that FlyQuest probably is very. I think they're a very strong team. Ev has been looking great. Edith obviously looks incredible. Melia also looks incredible, playing like the Viper Senti role. Probably one of the best in GC. And Jazzykins, I'm personally very high on Jazzykins. I think she's good at playing what's needed, and she's just great. She does great all the time. With that being said, I hate this because I think 2 through 4 can be interchangeable, and if whoever I put at 4 gets the second, I wouldn't be surprised. How much do I value the 2-month break? Pretty high, I feel like, and they get Lotus back, which I think they'll like because Water's always been good at Lotus. Oh, I don't know. And Water will probably stop running solo. They might stop running solo Yoru and start doing Neon. I'm gonna do this. Am I gonna do this? I don't think I can justify Blue Otter second. Just because FlyQuest did beat them, I think FlyQuest. While I think Blue Otter can like be very good mechanically, I don't think, at least in terms of like the strategic depth and like in certain critical moments where it comes down to decision making, I think FlyQuest will come out on top. FlyQuest and Warada. I'm gonna leave it like this. I'm gonna do revisions after. I guess my big reasoning is I think I might be very high on FlyQuest. I think they look good. I think they had a little bit. Their OQ1 run wasn't bad. They had like a small hiccup on Corrode to Monarch X, as far as I remember, where they were down a lot, but then they just rallied back and it looked very convincing. I'll leave it like this. We'll leave it like this for now. So we got number 5. I'm gonna put Swim Check Blue. And honestly, I think you could argue for Swim Check Blue to be like higher than they are. But for now, I'm gonna have Swim Check Blue at 5. I'll see how I feel at the end when I do revisions and I see everything. Swim Check Blue is the, if you want to get technical, they're actually 2 different cores. They have a core of Rose, who I'll flash up on screen, is a tier 2 VCL team with Sherrod, Corrupt, and Bob all being on that team. But then on the flip side, the other part of the core is the YFPX team last year that got second in main event at the end of the year with Corrupt, Wiley, and Glowstick. Yeah. I think this is a very strong team. Again, I think there's an argument for them to be higher. I guess my only question is now they have Aluvili and Bob both playing. Over last year, it was Zoriental and Scary Shark. I guess where I kind of question this is like, for one, I think GC has gotten better since the last main event. I guess my biggest question is like, how often does this team practice, right? Do they scrim a lot? Like, because the old YPX team, they would enter Fun Havers and they would scrim, but it was often without Corrupt because Corrupt was focusing on Tier 2. And when your team is 3 out of the 5 are in Tier 2, it's like, are they practicing at all for a GC, or is the focus on Tier 2, right? So I think that's kind of where, like, my concern comes in. I think if they practice, you could make an argument for 3 or 2. I think this team is very strong. Corrupt is a very smart IGL, just with how they play the game, and from what I've heard very good things about Corrupt. So yeah, we'll leave them at 5 for now. I'll reevaluate at the end. 6. This one's kind of hard. I guess we'll... the first thing that came to my mind was 100 Thieves. But 100 Thieves doesn't have Lydia anymore. And I don't know who is taking their place. So it's kind of hard for me to say. Yes, I'm kind of between Sad, 100 Thieves. Do I want to say Ghost? I'm gonna put Sad at 6 for now, and we'll revisit if I feel it needs to be changed. Sad was a team that qualified for OQ through OQ1. I think they surprised a lot of teams. I don't think a lot of people thought that they were gonna be as strong as they were. They beat Space Gliders, which I'll flash up on stream because I didn't play OQ2, or flash up on screen. And then they beat 100 Thieves in uppers pretty convincingly to make Swiss. Like, I think this team is solid. I would imagine they all stick together. I think they have a good coaching staff helping them. I think all the players are very hungry to, like, prove themselves and just show how good that they are. So we'll leave Sad at 6 for now. 7th. There's so many good teams. I feel like I'm gonna I'm gonna be honest. The only one I'm confident in is like SR1, and even then, I don't know. 7th, I'm kind of looking between 100 Thieves, Ghost. I think you could even say Ace of Hearts. Or Boros has also looked good. What's really straying me away from 100 Thieves is I don't know who their 5th is. I don't know who is going to take Lydia's spot. Because they could take a route where they shuffle a lot of roles around and then they pick up somebody new. Like, you let Nora or Scary Shark go back to Smokes. You look for a recon. You could shuffle a different way. And you could look for, like, a Smokes if Nora wants to stay on recon. Ghost, I'm like wishy-washy on. I think they have potential to be a very strong team, but they kind of like not falter. I just think like sometimes they get like in the same series they'll have a shaky map, but then the next map they just like dominate on. Ace of Hearts is probably not gonna be 7th, but I do think they're a good team. I think they were shaky at times, but I think they're still a good team. I'm gonna put 100 Thieves at 7 for now. I don't know who their 5th is. If they make a change that I either think is like a super high upgrade or a downgrade, maybe I'll revisit this video. But I think they have a lot of like veteran power. A lot of these people have been in this situation before. I think you could argue that out of recent time, Lydia maybe wasn't the most experienced at like a main event level, while the rest of her team was. If you want to make that argument, again, I think it really comes down to who they pick up. I'm not super sold on 100 Thieves. After kickoff, they kind of changed their identity to like double duelist. But then now Yoru is nerfed, and that's kind of what they're putting Zori on, was a lot of Yoru. We'll leave them at 7 for now. I think 8, I'll put Ghost. Oh, but what about Catface? Where do I have Catface at? Where do I have... I'm going to leave Ghost at 8 for now. I already put them there. I think Ghost is strong. I definitely think they have potential to be higher than where they're at, even if it's just by a few spots. I think their roster is very talented. I think they just need to show it. They need to show it. They need to figure out what they want to do gameplay-wise. But I think they're a strong team that should contend towards the top, at least in my opinion. 9. Ace of Hearts, Ouroboros, Catface. That's who I'm between. You could make an argument maybe for Monarch or Mask. Am I impressed more with Ouroboros, or am I impressed with Ace of Hearts? I'll sing the positives of both. Ouroboros, I think their split and their Haven is very strong. Those are maps that are staying in the pool. I think their loaded Ouroboros Lotus comp needs to change for sure. They run like a Phoenix, Gecko, like solo Gecko. I think that needs to change. Well, other than that, I think it's just they're a strong team. They run double duel. They just have their Neon Vienna kind of just run in, drag everybody's crosshair, and everybody follows and shoots them. Ace of Hearts was a little shaky when I watched them play against TV. I don't think, but map 3 wasn't close. It was Haven, but am I letting that? Borrow Bros did go map 3 against Hyperspeed. Doing Ouroboros 9. I'm gonna do Ace of Hearts 10. Yeah, that's where I'll keep them, I think. Right? Yeah, that's where I'll keep them. But I think they could interchange. Also, just disclaimer, this is assuming every roster stays the same. Obviously, I know 100 Thieves is changing because Lydia stepped down. But, yeah, I'm assuming everything is staying the same. 11. I might make a decision that might not make people happy. Do I want to do it though? Fuck it. I'll do it. I'll put Mask. I think they look great. OQ2 is where they qualified. I think they looked very it was very convincing. They did kind of have like, if you want to make an argument for why they should be lower, I'll give you it. Right. I'll play devil's advocate. They did probably have one of the easier paths to qualify, if you want to be honest. Their group, I think, was widely considered to be one of the easier groups for them. And they played a 10X, who I think was very wishy-washy. I think they were struggling. And then Monarch X got upset. And then they ended up playing Alliance Angels. And it was just 13-6 both maps. I do still think they would have beaten Monarch X. But I don't think it would have been a double 13-6. So you could make that argument, right, that they kind of had a very blessed path. But I'm still going to put them at 11. I think just, at least from watching, just a lot of things are clicking for them. I think Snowy has been looking incredible. I actually think like everybody's kind of been looking great. Snowy, I think for me, is kind of like my standout player. She's been looking very good. She's kind of just been floating between Phoenix and Tejo, but she does good on both. They also have banned Lotus, and I would imagine in this small break they would scrim Lotus, and you could have like either a 7 map pool or ban Fracture, which you haven't really shown this OQ. Right, so I actually think they're in a good spot because they didn't have to show too much. A lot of things are clicking from them. They're riding the momentum of a very good OQ2 run. Yeah, I could see it. Right below them, I'm gonna put Catface. Catface was a team that qualified through OQ. Bro, but seeing Catface at 12 seems so wrong. But I also know that this OQ2 or this Swiss is just very hard to call. We'll leave it. We'll do revisions after, if I feel I need to. Again, if you want to play devil's advocate, Catface qualified through OQ1, which was definitely just the harder of the two. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure how to feel about Catface. Like, I think they're a good team. They have smart players. I just wonder how they've been using this break. I guess. Like, I know a lot of them are like busy with life. I know Raven. I actually just saw Raven make a tweet about playing majority of Marvel Rivals because Valorant is kind of in a bad state of ranked right now. I think Catface could punch up. I feel wrong about putting them at 12. We'll revisit. Okay, now we have 4 teams left. Okay, I'll address one thing. YDZ, I don't know what is happening. I don't know what's happening with YDZ. Because Cloudsy made a tweet that they're getting dropped. Or they got dropped, or they're not on YDZ anymore. And I don't know how serious that is. It looked serious. It seemed serious. But I just don't know. Yeah, I don't... Because that changes a lot, in my opinion. Like, yes, they still keep the core, but Cloudsy, I think, at least from playing with them, hearing how they calm, and just, like, seeing their overall flexibility, I think Cloudsy provides a lot for that team. I'm going to put Monarch X13. This is a team that I think if they figure out how they want to play the game, they could definitely punch up. I kind of talked about this in my last video where I think Monarch X, they get bailed out. They don't do anything crazy in terms of like pre-round calling, and they don't have like crazy pre-rounds. They don't have like insane mid-round calls, but their mechanical skill is very high. But I do worry about some of the comps that they run. I do think it, like at least in this level of play, it'll get kind of exploited. And I'm not super convinced with them yet. So we'll put Monarch X13. Put TV 14. Bro, but it's so hard to rank these bottom teams, man. Because like even out of Monarch X TV, Hyperspeed, YDZ, in whatever order I put them in, on a good week I could see them beating some of these teams above. Like 9 through 12. You can maybe make an argument for like lower end of top 8, but because I don't want it to seem like I'm underrating Hyperspeed again. Or TV. I think TV, okay, I'll sing the praise of TV first. TV, I think I don't think they play crazy in-depth Valorant. I think they play very I don't want to say basic, because saying basic feels wrong. But I think that they play standard is a good word. Like I don't think they do anything super crazy. But they're good at what they do. NUE has kind of just been leaning legit full time into like neon shotgun almost. It feels like. I mean it's strong. I think having Sonder on the team is good in a sense that I think having somebody who has played at a high level already on a team full of people that maybe don't have like that much experience, like I think she can kind of be that veteran presence for them. We'll leave TV at 14. I guess the reason I have them at 14 is I don't think they have as much depth as some of the teams above them, maybe. But I still think on a good day they could definitely punch upwards. $15 and $16. And both of these feel wrong. I'm putting Hyperspeed at 15. Because, again, I don't know how true the Cloudsy stuff is. If the Cloudsy stuff is true, I'm sliding for Cloudsy. I'm putting YDZ last. We'll see. We'll talk about Hyperspeed first. I feel horrible putting them at 15. Because I feel like I've been underrating them pretty much the whole queue. I feel like I've been underrating them. But I will give credit where credit is due. I think they definitely exceeded my expectations. I think that double initiator style that I was worried about suits them very well. I think Ruin plays very well off of the util. I think they do a decent job at setting Ruin up. I just need to see more, I think. But again, on a good day, I think they could beat some of these teams above them. They did take Ouroboros to map 3. I could see them beating like a TV or a Monarch X on like a good day. I need to see a little bit more depth, and I need to see some. Yeah, I need to see more depth. I need to see a little more structure. I think they get very close to throwing a lot of round leads. Also, like, again, I will reiterate as I put YDZ in 16th. This is a very hard Swiss. So I don't like if you're one of these bottom teams. I don't think it's because you're bad. I actually just think there's a lot of good teams to soak you. And I'm re-looking at it and I feel very weird. That's the reason I have YDZ in last is like I think they play. At least for their Breach Tejo stuff, I think it's very one-dimensional. At least from what I've watched. Where it's a lot of like, we're going to do a trap play, and then we're going to stun Salvo. And then on attack, we're just going to have our Tejo sit main and play Salvo. So then you're kind of 4v5 on site a lot of the time, right? And while I think Nully is very good, Nully is the person who plays Tejo for this team. Like, I think they should have her be playing on site more. Because I think she's a very good mechanical player, and she's proved it. But they kind of just have her sit in main and play Salvo a lot. I don't know how to feel. I'm looking at it, and it feels wrong, but I don't know what I would change. Again, I think you could argue for Swim Track Blue to even go higher. Again, I just don't know how often this team is practicing. That's my thing. You could make an argument for Bash Treasure lower, but I think Bash Treasure has proven that they're good and things are clicking for them right now. And there is no perfect time for things to click than right before Swiss stage. You could say Catface should be higher. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it because I could sit here for like 30 minutes and just stare at it. Yeah. Okay. We'll leave it off there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please, again, don't take this like personal or anything. I think I'm mainly just going off of like strength, viewing it like analytically, objectively. I think everybody that made it here, this is a very PR statement, but I think everybody that made it is a great team, right? Definitely one of the harder Swiss stages that GC has had so far, GCNA at least. Definitely one of the hardest Swisses that we've had. And I think everybody should just be proud of making it. I could see a lot of the teams, but like the bottom 8 teams, I could see them punching up. You know, like I don't think it's like an end all be all. Like I think Ouroboros could beat some of these teams. I think Ace of Hearts could beat some of these teams. Mass, Cat, like these teams are good, and it is so hard to call. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. A little bit of a longer video. I'll just have to edit it down at some point. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Goodbye.